Dear friends, good day, a hearty hello, and a hi, silver, and a welcome to Lionel Nation. And this right now, we were just watching the president, I think in fine fettle and fine form, initiating and indicating a lot of changes he was making regarding cashless bail in the D.C. area. He's doing things which are very, very good. I like the fact that he's dealing with an issue that makes the most sense. Get down to business, not Ukraine, not Israel, but law and order. That is what America wants. That is the thing which is the most critical. I don't care what anybody tells you. I know what I'm talking about. Go to the issues, go to what people really care about, and people really care about this. This is a critical issue of absolute. There's nothing that is more important than safety and feeling safe. And the president is, I think, doing a wonderful job, at least specifically in and around the area of D.C., dealing with that, which is terrific. I think it's wonderful. And there's a couple of things also. First, I want to ask you this question. This is the most interesting, I think. Have you ever come across something in your life where as a practical course, there's something that is constitutionally one way, but reality is another? For example, I'll give you a perfect example. I believe very much, in this idea, in the notion of drug, not legalization, but decriminalizing. And the reason why I believe it, I think it does nobody any good whatsoever to have, and this is important, to have any kind of, I don't think it does anybody any good to have any form of jail for people who are involved in drugs. I just don't think it makes any sense. I never have. I never will. We don't have enough resources. We don't have enough people. We don't have enough anything for this. It's a total waste of time. And why people think that drugs are going to be handled best with incarceration, I never understood it. Never understood it. However, thank you, Freddie. However, sometimes there may be something that makes sense. That it may be counterintuitive, but it makes sense. Just like spanking children intuitively, to me, makes sense. Don't spank children. Leave children alone. Don't hit them. You never can help by hitting a kid, by teaching a kid that anger and this and However, there are cases when I can see where sometimes there are some kids who that's the only thing that may get through to them. It may save their life. And even though it may make no sense to anybody, even though you might say, well, I think intuitively, it may make sense. So this is where practical and reality butt heads. I've always believed intuitively that the death penalty is an absolute dangerous precedent because of the errors in the system, because of the mistakes that are made, because of the poor. Listen, anybody who's been in the criminal justice system knows you don't want to give the death penalty to these people. But then again, maybe there are some people, maybe there are some societies, maybe there are some cases where the only thing to get the attention of people is the death penalty. I don't know. You tell me. It's one of those things which I find fascinating. Let me tell you my latest issue. I absolutely believe 100% in the case of flag burning. The president just spoke about flag burning. He wants to make flag burning. I think he wants to make it a 1-year minimum mandatory, or he was intimating something to that effect. That if you burn the American flag, he wants there to be a criminal punishment that is immediate, that is certain, that is everything in my being Everything tells me that is constitutionally protected. Everything tells me that you have that is expression. And this is a flag. This is not a the flag. It's not the flag that flew over Fort Sumter or no. It's the flag. It is this. If I were to take this, and as sick as it were, if I were to set this on fire, or something that I purchased and I own, you want to put me in jail? You mean this? You want to specify? No, it's got to be cloth. It's got to be of a certain size. Then it gets ridiculous. It's got to be a certain size? We don't have any kind of law that would violate burning the Constitution. I think that would be even more. That's even more insidious. That's even more disgusting. Burning the Constitution? Okay. What's interesting to note is that I understand it, but I also understand people's disgust. It's disgust. It's horrible. And they don't like this. And whereas it may be theoretically unconstitutional, it may be theoretically problematic, it may be theoretically, I can see a lot of people saying, you know what, that's okay. With all of the crazy laws that we have made, illegal by virtue of there being a law, why would this necessarily be so out of course where we say there's something about this particular symbolic speech? There are people who make it illegal sometimes to say certain words, a word, but we affix and we connect and we apply certain aspects of that word, that very powerful word. It's just a word, but we handle that. So I don't know. Intuitively, theoretically, as a constitutional lawyer, yeah, I can understand it. But then again, there may be a time when it's a different story. There's so many things to be considering. There's so many aspects. There's so many concerns. There's so much stuff here. And what the president is doing is so important. And what he needs next is he's going after Gavin Newsom. He's got to think about 2028. He's got to think about midterms, but also 2028. And Gavin Newsom is it. The president has got to take off the gloves. He has got to be what Trump was. I voted for President Trump. I wanted that hard-nosed, hard scrabble, that absolutely, I want that hard-nosed, 100% brutal Donald Trump. And we haven't seen that, and I hope we're seeing it now. And what he's doing by going back at least at the city level, maybe by trying to exert something which may in and of itself be unconstitutional. The fact that he's exerting some federal, jurisdiction. I don't know. This is war, my friends. This is war. And we are sitting here in New York City, and it's not about Zohran Mamdani. It's about everywhere. It's about Chicago. It's about Boston. It's about San Francisco. It's about LA and Bass and all these others. It's about this movement. They are not going away. They are not going away. DEI, ESG, Cracker Barrel, all these folks, we're still seeing this. They are not, they might be dormant. They might have gone down a little bit, but this is a chance for us to fight back for the spirit and what this country is about. I'm telling you, yesterday we had something, this weekend, Zohran Mamdani does not understand anything about politics. He's good at social media. I think Curtis Lewa, whom I am voting for 100%, is doing a great job as well. But let me tell you what they're doing here in New York. This is the best part. They talk among themselves. They talk and they chat. They say, well, you don't understand. You see, it's not until, Labor Day and this. Don't worry about this. This is not. These poll numbers, they don't matter. Don't worry. They're not saying do anything. They're just saying don't worry. Don't do anything. Don't do anything. Don't do anything. Just be careful. Just be careful. When is the New York City mayor's race? This is what people are understanding. This is what people are grasping. This is what they're saying. Wow, okay. Because what's our time frame right now? This is the most important thing to understand. The primary was June. The general election is November the 4th. November the 4th. Early voting from October 25th to November 2nd. That's one thing good about New York. The early voting I like. I think other people do it as well. So what they're doing is they're saying November 2nd, we have a long way to go. This is just, we're not even September, October, and then this is too early, and that's what they do. And they never get excited. They never get upset. They never get worried. They always have an excuse. Well, don't worry about this. Well, these polls, don't worry about that poll. That's everything. That's the Quinnipiac poll. That's the Marist poll. That's the ABC poll. The sample size isn't good. This isn't good. That's not good. Don't worry about that poll. That poll doesn't matter. These numbers don't matter. Nobody really likes them. Don't worry. We're going to win because we're great and we're smart and we're the best. This is what they say. And it scares me to death. Dear God. Dear God. What do we do? How do we make people aware of this? How do we make people aware of what's going on in the world today? Seriously. Seriously. What do we do? How do we do this? I will never, as long as I live, I will never, ever understand how people don't understand elections. They think that elections are about who's better, or who's favorite, or who's, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. What are these people thinking about? And what we're doing is we're not going into the various, we're not explaining things to people. First of all, why do people believe that merely saying that somebody is a socialist, that's supposed to do something to you? Why is it? Why? Tell me why. Why do you think that's supposed to do anything? I mean it. Why do you think? Could you look at your cell phone real quick, honey? Just verify this thing. Do you have your phone handy? Yes. Just verify my number. I gotta, it says this. Check your device, that kind of a thing. You see that? Under what? Gmail. Let me see something here. Pardon me, ladies and gentlemen. We're preparing. As you know, tomorrow's a big day. Well, yeah. There's nothing under my Gmail. Okay, well, hang on a minute. Let me see something here. Gmail. Let me see your phone for a minute. Okay, just a minute. Let me hang on a minute. Okay, this is that. Okay, maybe not. I don't know. Anyway, thank you. People, as I said, we got a big day tomorrow. People think that there's this idea that somehow you're going to get the idea across, that that things are going to be terrific. Oh yeah, that people are going to understand just because you know what's going on. Because you know what's going on. You know what's happening. Could you grab my laptop, what the hell is that called? That iPad? Thank you. I'm so sorry. I'm doing all this stuff. I don't want to get up. My beloved wife. Oh, bless her. There we go. That's the ticket. Thank you, darling. What a delight. What a doll. What a doll. Luckiest man in the world. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. What am I doing here? You know, there's this. That's not it. I'm trying to get you, by the way, to subscribe to my. How do I say this? To get you to subscribe to my email, my newsletter. I just put it out today, and it was a beaut, an absolute beaut. And what I want you to do is I want you to grasp this notion. Oh, I see. Huh. Hang on a minute. Just for a minute. Just for a second. I don't understand this. Keep talking. It's the weirdest thing. I don't know. Anyway, so as I was saying, there are people who think that for some reason there's this, I don't know, that there's this understanding that people have, that everybody understands it, everybody grasps it, everybody sees it, everybody knows it. They know about socialism, or they know about leftism, or whatever the hell it is they do. And I'm thinking, cool, okay, so where are we going to explain it to people? Well, we don't want to bother. I would go into, I swear to God, I would go into every borough, every neighborhood, every precinct, everywhere where there's somebody who needs to know, and I would just have people, crime victims, just speak and say, let me tell you what happened right here in your neighborhood. Not what happened in Chicago, but what happened right here. To explain no bail. Let me ask you, my friends, what do you think is the purpose of bail? Why is no bail dangerous? What does bail do? What is bail? What is a bond? What is the purpose of it? What are we trying to do? What is it? What is a bail bond? How does it work? The idea is that it is provided in lieu of incarceration. That's all it is. In lieu of, instead of incarceration. That's all it means. And what it is people have the right under the 8th Amendment to a bond. In some cases, not murder one, not serious cases, murder, first-degree felonies, that sort of thing. But for the most part, you have the right to a bond, provided you can meet the following criteria. Listen to this. Number one, you're not a threat to people. And number two, your likelihood of appearing for trial. That's it. The latter is easy. He's ties to the community, no prior record, or he's never failed to miss court, or he's or she pose no threat. There's no victim threat. It's a property, something like that. But also, there's no threat. There's likely to appear, but there's no threat. You don't pose a threat. You're not going to flee. You're not going to leave. You're not going to take off. That's all it means. It's not punishment. Bond shouldn't be punishment. Bail bond shouldn't be punishment. You're not punishing somebody ahead of time. You're just making sure they're going to be there. But when you say no bail, this is a different story. You've got no reason to, you don't have to worry about it. You know that if you're arrested, you'll have a signature bond and you'll never show up again. Just like they did with people they actually did this for people who were charged with violating the law, the immigration laws. Somebody who violated the law came into our country, broke in, and you're asking them to appear for a detention hearing or some type of, they have no ties to the community. What are you talking about? They actually did this. We have to explain this to people. Don't bring up the Democrats. Tell them what it is. Let them figure it out. I told you about this story. I told you about this. I've got a friend of mine who is very, very interesting. This is a guy who is as rock-ribbed conservative as you can imagine. He is the real deal. And he, for whatever reason, went and moved for a while to China. And when he moved to China, he thought he's not going to like these people. It's going to be horrible. He said he never saw anything that was draconian. Granted, he didn't go out of his way to insult the government. But they asked him flat out, what do you think? What do you think of such and such? And they were talking back and forth. So somebody asked him a question. They said, what would happen if somebody SA'd or R-worded your daughter? Got to be careful with these YouTube sensibilities. What would happen? And the answer is, he said, I'll bet you, in the United States, nothing would happen. Am I right? He said, nothing would happen. Nothing would happen. Nothing. He says, you know what would happen here? Because what you do to one of our children, you do to all of our children. We don't identify. This is an affront. This is so vile. It is their attitude is, you do this to one of us? You would do this to one of our innocent? Oh my God. And they have a completely different attitude. It's something that we in this country do not understand. We don't think like this. You're used to people just getting away. That's what you're doing. So they specifically say, oh no, there's some short amount of time. It might be too fast for our speed. And let me also tell you, there have been cases of innocent people caught in dragnets and the like. But for the most part, individuals who were charged with something did it. Don't think for a moment it's not true. For the most part, people do it. And they also have something in China. I know I told you this. In every division, borough, precinct, area, sector, wherever you are assigned to be the captain or the lieutenant or whatever the particular designation is, they have signs all over the place. It says, my name is, with a picture of the police officer and his cell number, his mobile number. He says, if you see something, call me. Call me. I'll make sure it gets done. There's a sense of, oh my God, they care. When was the last time you heard that? We are seeing things in our area which is so sad. We are seeing fat, DEI, ESG, quota, check-marked people who are there for a variety of reasons, standing on a corner with those Cardi B lenses, fingernails, not wearing a hat, on their phone, not paying attention, bloated, tattooed, gargantuan, obese, sloth-like, because we've gone to this weird idea of immersing our law enforcement with people to show a diversity. Screw this diversity. I hate that word. Diversity means death. Diversity means the end of rational and common sense. Diversity is a horror show. Don't ever use the word diversity. I hate that word. I hate it. I don't know where it comes from. I don't know where this idea, why diverse is so good. Heterogeneous, it's okay, but I don't know. It's never talent. It's never competence. It's never brilliance. It's diversity for the sake of diversity. And we have been so inculcated by and with and through this nonsense that people say this on a regular basis. It's just got to end. And we've got to go in at a grassroots level and do not expect Gut Bucket or Jesse Waters or I don't know who. Do you understand what I'm saying? I'm dead serious. We have to, maybe through our own YouTube channels and the like. I'm trying to let people know. I'm trying to come across not as I'm not a Republican. I come upon this not as a Trump supporter, though he's the person I support for what he's saying. But I don't start off with the a priori thing, I support him. No, I support what he's doing. I support what he said. I support what he stands for. I don't support him. He doesn't mean that. I don't understand what this means. It's not about Trump. It's not about Trump. And TDS is through the roof. We have got to go in and explain to people what's going on. And we can't worry about why things are. Why does Gavin Newscum, why is he doing this? Why is he destroying his state? Why? Why does Karen Bass? Why are they doing it in Chicago and all these? Why? You want to sit around with that? Go ahead. You want to figure that one out? I don't have time for that. I don't have time to figure out why they're doing it and what the purpose is. I don't know. I can't tell you. I don't know the reason. I don't care about the reason. We've got to figure this way out. And President Trump is doing that. And he's got to do it. And he's got to be really hard. And he makes reference to the fact of the pen, the auto pen. Let's do something. I want to have at least 25 various investigations going concomitantly, simultaneously. I want there to go after everything. I still want to know, can you tell me why Antifa has never been indicted as a domestic terror group? Why have they not been indicted collectively as a racketeering enterprise? Why has Black Lives Matter gotten away with murder? How does this happen? How does this happen? I don't understand. What are we doing here? What are we doing? I don't know. I told you one of the best moves he can do is to, believe it or not, this would be great, to pardon Ghislaine Maxwell. It will scare she's done time. Look, whatever it is. You say whatever you want. If you really think, seriously, out of the entire scheme of trafficking, that Ghislaine Maxwell, not CPS, not with unaccompanied minors, not what's going on with familial trafficking, kids that are forced. Ghislaine Maxwell, it's wrong. The idea of the number of, there weren't 10-year-old girls, things like that. No. I'm not saying, look, we have to understand something. We have this rule, 18 years old and above. That's the Maginot Line. That's the blood-brain barrier. That is it. 18, anything before that is no good. Anything after that's okay. Is that arbitrary? Yep. Is it arbitrary? Yep. Does it make any sense? I don't know why. What's so special about 55 miles per hour? I don't know. Why not 56? Around maybe up 55. What is this? I don't even, what is it? Why 55? We have to come up with these things. We have to do something for her to scare people. We have to go after and destroy the shadow government, the entrenched, not deep state, but this shadow government, representative government, hidden government, the globalists, everything from Rothschild to you name it. The Rothschild groups, the Bilderbergers, the everything, the Davos, just everyone. Remember the BIS, the Bank of International Settlements, which is the central bank of the central banks in Basel, Switzerland. We have to go through this, and the best way is to go after people and realize that put it this way, I would start with the World Economic Forum. How many of those people can we indict for something? How many criminal investigations do we have going on those people right there? How many? How many investigations are going on with Bill Gates and Bill Clinton? How many? Bill Gates, it would be one, if there is, I mean, he did, which there probably is, but if there is, and if he were to be charged, and not these weird kind of international things. Look, right now we have the ICC and the ICJ, and they're talking about arrest warrants for Bibi, and there's one for Putin. They don't really mean anything. They really don't mean anything. But there has to be something done. America believes there's no such thing as law enforcement. There's none. It's kind of a selective thing. Yeah, we go after a few things. And as much as we love the president, I've got to be able to say, can you tell me why in 100 and whatever days, you still have not made any major arrests. Do you think this John Bolton case makes any sense? Does anybody here, honest to God, seriously think that a search warrant for John Bolton regarding some abstruse violation of information, and do you think that does anything? Honestly, seriously, no. Sorry, it does not. It does not. And that's why we have to go on and tell people this. Remember that joke? Not that joke, but there was coming Jeff Foxworthy. You might be a redneck if boom. And you can say whatever you want. You might be MAGA. I hate that MAGA. I really don't. I swear to God. It's not. This isn't about Trump. This is about common sense. But for lack of a better word, and for purposes of just for shortcut purposes, you might be MAGA if you think that you have a right to walk the streets of your neighborhood without any kind of fear. I don't want to hear anybody saying, I'm going to leave. I'm going to go to an enclave or a city or a county or a state where crime, where I'm safe. I'm going to leave to hide out from criminals. What did you say? I'm going to go. You're going to go hide out from criminals? No, not in my country. Not in my country. I don't care if you're in Chicago or Bug Tussle. It doesn't matter. Are you really telling me this? This is what we should be talking about. This is it. And nobody is. We're talking about all kinds of stuff. Auto pens and Ukraine, and nobody cares about that. People don't understand it. They don't grasp it. They don't understand any of it. My friends, I provide the following to you, and I want you to listen to me. So important. We have the chance to make absolute inroads, to go out into cities and counties and boroughs and precincts and pull people in and have them say yes. Black, white, you name it. And we're not going to go there by making fun of Mamdani and Karen Bass and calling them leftists or socialists. That doesn't make any sense. That doesn't mean anything. Believe me when I tell you that. That doesn't mean anything. What we have to do is we have to figure a way to make people understand that this is serious business. And Trump has got to have the right people continuing to do this. And let people know, have pictures, talk about. He was talking about how DC alone, Maureen Dowd, Miss Lonely Hearts Club, Maureen Dowd is saying for the first time she says she sees absolute, drastic, total, real changes for the better, and she says it reluctantly. People are saying this. Anytime there's a decrease in crime, there are people out there in the world who are animals, savages, people who have no affiliation to anything, no sense of law and order, no sense of responsibility, no moral compunction, no morality, no nothing. If you're in their way, they will bulldoze you. They will just come over you like a ton of bricks. You mean nothing to them. How do you think you're going to get these people to understand the severity of what's happening? How do you think? What do you think is going to get their attention? What's going to make a nationwide change? You got this guy, this Kilmar Garcia. What is this about? What is this about? You know, I have some very dark thoughts sometimes. I have dark thoughts sometimes about forms of vigilantism that I know on paper is incorrect. I know it. I know it's wrong. And I know that taking the law into your own hands and, it leads to lynch mobs, and we don't want that. But I can understand why people feel that way sometimes. I can understand why people really, really get that. And I understand it. Because when you push people far enough and long enough, after a long enough period of time, you realize you get to their soul and their core. I want to say one more thing, too, about this Mamdani fellow. He went and he did something, and I'm so glad that this ridiculous weightlifting thing happened, because as you know, for the most part right now, a lot of people are finding it more important to do pull-ups and bench pressing than to show any kind of intellectual acuity. There was a time I was watching when William F. Buckley and Gore Vidal would debate, and oh my God, I watch old Nightline, I mean not Line, Crossfire, and I love it. I love it. To think that there was a time when we appreciated that. Well, today we don't care about that. Today it's about pull-ups and deadlifting and things like that. So this Mamdani thought, okay, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to try to lift weights, and he never thought about it, and he couldn't lift 135 pounds, which is basically the minimal amount of time. In any event, so there he was doing this, and he, very interestingly enough, he was doing this, and more people were laughing at that than anything else. So Eric Adams, who was the current mayor of New York, decided he's in very good shape. He can easily do this, this bench press thing. And even on his website, they said 67 versus 33. He's 64. His own people got his age wrong. This is how incompetent these people are. But anyway, so I'm glad that happened. Maybe that gets people's attention. As you know, in history, from Michael Dukakis and the tank incident, remember that time of remember Obama on Martha's Vineyard with a little hat on his bike, little bicycle helmet, and the one thing you thought of when you saw that? Farmer, right? He looked like I don't know what this thing was. 1975, Gerald Ford falling down or tripping on Air Force One compared to Biden. Oh, this is the guy Biden who basically didn't know where he was. And now we're seeing that for the longest time, he was never, in many respects, not even in the White House. They had sets contrived and designed. It was the biggest fraud ever. Forget AutoPen. He was AWOL as a president. That didn't bother people, but this will. Maybe this Mamdani incident will make people aware, because we live in a world of children. We worry about little things where Richard Nixon was sweating. Remember that one? There were all these various events. There were every country has had them. The people have fallen down, or people remember, who was it? George Bush was looking at his watch one time during a debate. He was looking at his watch because he wanted to see how much time there was left, not because he had to go somewhere. There was one time where George Bush didn't know what one of those scanners was. He says, "What's that?" Didn't know what that was. I mean, there's these stupid things. But we live in a world today where Typhoid, or one of these people, actually is a speaker. This is somebody who actually speaks on behalf of a contingent. So what I'm saying, my friends, is it is incumbent upon us to do the right thing and to let people know what's going on. And Trump is going to be bulldozing Newscum and setting the stage by going city by city, bit by bit, to show people the error of their ways. And I thank you for that. My friends, please remember, support Mrs. L at Lynn's Warriors. Also our sister channel, if you will, our other channel, Lionel Legal. And make sure you are subscribed here and you like this video at Lionel Nation. As the world prepares, tomorrow there is a court order, or an executive order, I should say, signed by the president that will mandate all automobiles in the contiguous United States to drive with their lights on after 9 p.m. in honor of my birth. That's tomorrow. That's true. Can't verify this, but tomorrow night when you're out and you're seeing all those lights on, remember, you'll know why. It's America's chance of saying to me, thank you for all I've done and all I've attempted to do. All right, dear friends, have a great and glorious day. See you later. Don't ever change. I mean that sincerely. And until then, remember, the monkey's dead. Show's over. Sue ya. Dad.